What's going on, guys? It's Cimoooooooo. Now today I'm bringing you another collaboration video with mcole40, this time discussing if Yu-Gi-Oh has hit a ceiling or not. Now this is a really great discussion. We were on Skype for 4 hours and decided to record another discussion video for you guys. So again, part 1's on his channel, the annotation's gonna be right here or in the description down below, and part 2 is gonna be on my channel. So be sure to check out Robbie's channel and part 1. Sit back and relax, check out both part 1 and part 2. It was a really awesome discussion, and I really hope you guys enjoyed. So thank you guys so much. Here's part 2.
So, as we said, Duel Links is introducing new players to the game. That's pretty much assumed. You don't have 25 million downloads without getting some new players. So,
Yep.
Where are these kids that should be showing up to my locals? Like, I just bought this. I just went on TCG Player and bought this deck. I'm ready to like play you with my my Batlin
Jerry
box.
Beans Man Turbo.
No, that's not a real deck. Batlin Boxers is more realistic. Or my favorite, I'm here with the Black Wings, guys. But like, where are these kids that are just like looking up fun decks and like trying to play? Like, I know they exist, I know they're out there, but where the fuck they at though?
I mean, so, okay, if you're going to go with the assumption that this is a mobile game, and especially it's like a hyper-casual mobile version of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Doesn't it have microtransactions as well?
It does have microtransactions.
So, okay.
So that's in play as well. But I feel like the majority audience that this is appealing to are people who are probably not even of the age that they can drive. And so the problem with that is they probably need to like convince their parents to buy them the cards or to even convince them to drive them to the tournaments to even play. Now, I'm not saying like they're like super little, like maybe around the age of like from like 13 to like 16, like around that age. I feel like that's kind of like where this game is like more catered towards. Sure, like a bunch of us play it because, you know, we already like...
We've both have asked our parents to drive us to locals at one point in our lives.
We have. But not everyone can do that.
That is true, and
not everyone has the money compared to being able to play the free version. Because you can play it free, obviously you can buy shit, but not everyone also has the money to be able to play, you know, to buy these cards. Because, I mean, cardboard's expensive.
Dude. Well, actually...
You need to show off your $100 barrages now?
No, but this is cheap.
That is cheap.
That is cheap, huh? What else is expensive in this pile? Well, actually, these are kind of cheap.
Kind of.
See, like,
but for a little kid, that's expensive.
That is true, but I mean,
you have to look at it that way. For us, because like we have money and like jobs and shit, like $7 for a piece of cardboard, like that's manageable. For a little kid, $7 is a lot of money.
Well, dude, there's also a lot. Like, I remember being a little kid back in the day, and I remember like trying to save up like allowances, like low key, to like buy cardboard. And
I
like,
did too.
You obviously like you feel that satisfaction and things like that, but like you know what you have to do to get what you want because the subliminal messages on the smartphone. Also, back in my day, we didn't have this technology. These things were fucking flip phones.
It's true.
Like, now I can fucking record on this for a better quality webcam than I could anything else. That's absurd. But back to what we were saying. But, like, you know what you had to do because the pretty little ads on the TV were telling you to go buy crack cocaine. Or, excuse me, Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You know?
Not to be confused.
Oh, yes. See, like, a little kid could buy one of these for, like, what, $10?
Yeah.
And then, oh, man. Let's see here. You know, a little kid can't afford this.
No, you might get that like as a birthday present if you're lucky.
Oh no, dude, Christmas was fucking lit, alright? Back in the day, like, you get a fucking box of this, you're just like, thank you. Because you know your parents aren't going to buy this for you. This was grandma and grandma.
Right.
But, you know, back in the day, like, if your locals did a 5 for 20 without charging you tax, you took whatever 2 weeks allowance you had and you went and bought your 5 packs.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's the thing, like, so you have to look at it, like, we didn't have smartphones, so, like, Duel Links wouldn't have existed. We didn't even have DN back then, so DN was out. There was no YGO Pro, there was no Dev Pro. The closest thing you had to, like, a virtual version of Yu-Gi-Oh! Was, like, the Game Boy Advanced game, and you couldn't even play that online. You needed, like, a fucking link cable.
I want to hit you right now with the Donald Trump wrong picture, so the jobber, like, thumbs up this video. But there was YVD. Don't forget YVD.
Okay, fair.
God, watching your fucking having to download like the pictures individually.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But
again, like people, like the amount of work you had to go through to do that, like it was daunting.
download Hamachi to get the connection set.
So like that's why it's become so much more accessible now by comparison. Like, you know, again, we're having to save up like allowance money and stuff like that when, you know, someone now can just play the mobile version for free and, you know, they get enough out of it that they're enjoying it without needing to really go further than that. It's going to take someone who's really hooked to really go beyond and buy cards and start attending locals and regionals. That's a very small subset of the amount of players like from Duel Links or anything like that.
You know, you could almost attribute like the burst to like video games and Yu-Gi-Oh. Granted, there wasn't a video game in 2014, but usually like when there's a big world championship game that came out, there seemed to be an influx of people playing at that point in time.
There's one every year typically.
I guess you could attribute Duel Links to the success. You know, it's definitely an interesting topic to touch on. You know,
how about the movies though as well?
Oh, we did have a movie this year.
We did have a movie this year.
God, you just made me lose my other thought. You're such an asshole.
No, but the movies, I think the movies could play a role as well.
Dude, I fucking traded for a Maxi in the movie theater. I'm a big fan of my breast pockets. Okay, so I bought some Toon Kingdoms from a guy at my locals, and I had like the extra Toon stuff in my pocket. And there's these kids down in the front row before the movie started. They're trading and everything. And I got so bored just sitting next to my friend. I yelled, "You got trades down there?" And the kid's like, "Yeah." So the kid comes up and he's like, "Do you have any Toon stuff?" I'm like, "Man, what a coinky dink. I have all of this in my breast pocket." So I traded.
That's not creepy at all, by the way.
I mean, when a grown 27-year-old's asking an 18-year-old down in like the front row, like 8 rows up, like got trades and like everyone looks at you like a stranger, you can definitely say you've got some accomplishments on your belt.
You can definitely say you're a Yu-Gi-Oh player because that's only typical of a Yu-Gi-Oh player.
But the thing was like, I remember going to
I would do it too. I'm not.
Dude, I remember going to the Digimon movie fucking like 15 years ago. Like low key and just like trying to trade for the cards from the kids. Like that's the best part of the movie is meeting the people that you normally wouldn't get to see and sit down with. No, that's your interaction time. Like I think I told one guy to subscribe to my YouTube channel at the movie. I also had some guy that came up like an hour and a half ways like, "Are you MCole40?" I'm like, "No, I'm not. I just look like him." But no, like I agree with you. The movies definitely they give interaction levels with the community. They definitely raise more interest because think about like Pokemon Go and how Pokemon Go interact with the Pokemon community. That spike in players for the TCG, like it stirs things in people, and I definitely like that about this community. You know?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Oh man, what else is there to beat out of you tonight, Simo?
Well. I mean,
Dueling Network. Yes, I got my point back. Okay, Dueling Network spoiled this community. All right, so you remember how we were were talking about like simulators and no video games and things like that? Mm-hmm. With the span of Dueling Network for what was it, 5 years it existed? 4 years?
Yeah, it was about 5.
So the community became. Oh man, this should be another topic for another video. But Dueling Network allowed formats to be solved quicker. I think we had. You can argue that we had more players under Dueling Network in the game, but I think, as John was saying, players are thirstier for things now that they don't have things basically spoon-fed to them, and they have to seek out things now. But the Dueling Network, it's an interesting paradox. You know, what do you think about this?
Well, it's funny because you were saying people have to seek out more information, which means that's why our analytics are going up because now people don't have everything spoon-fed through DN. So now they're trying to find alternative means of information, hence YouTube, hence, you know, I could keep going on. But no, I agree. I feel like DN really spoiled the community because it was such an easily accessible tool. And it was the best manual simulator to best replicate real life play. And there could be mistakes that were made and you could take them back. And like, it was just very effective for play testing. There were so many different aspects of it that were so valuable. You could be just playing at 3 a.m. with someone like across the country and it was totally fine. And it brought so many other people together. And then when we lost that, it's like we almost kind of lost part of the community because it's like, you can't play with your friends that live in other areas now.
At some point, the community has to rebuild itself and come back from the loss. And I think we're going into the upward spiral now because new format, new cards, new borderline tier 0 format. You have probably one of the techiest formats ever in the game's history. You know,
Probably.
you have to decide what your tech choice is going to be. Are you playing the My Body? Are you not? Are you going Kaiju? Or are you going pure? Like, we don't have a ban list yet. I think also the loss of the ban list might attribute some of this because people are a little bit more afraid to invest, but the players that have been here for 3 or 4 months are like, I'm just gonna say fucking buy the cards now.
Yeah.
You know, and like I've seen some people this week actually before Seattle, they're like, do I invest in Terratops now or what? And I definitely saw a few people say, fuck it, you know, time to spend the $30 because what if we don't get a list? You know, this ties back into our previous video, but like,
go check that out.
Yeah, it's all an infinite circle that seems to lead back that has infinite trees that circle back. And it's one of the more interesting points about Yu-Gi-Oh is, you know, we started this video talking about Duel Links, and we've come all the way to Dueling Network, but you know, there's pluses and negatives with every side of the equation.
We were talking about like how like where is like the end game for Yu-Gi-Oh? Like where is like when is it gonna hit like its peak? Or like it's still going strong.
Well, the original point of this video was to talk about the ceiling, which now that this makes a good point to end the video after this like final point here, but you know, we talk about the ceiling, we've seen where we've come, and we've seen that, you know, with Duel Links, they just raised the ceiling. That's 25 million potential subscribers that YouTubers could have access to. And, you know, 3 more years down the road, they release another game. And you know what? That's a whole nother 3 years that another generation has eased into it who's never heard of Yu-Gi-Oh! And can get the chance to enjoy that game. So technically, as long as the generation is still growing, more people are entering into the game, obviously people leave this game. And it's a never-ending cycle, essentially. Yes, I guess you can argue that there is a ceiling, but only a ceiling for that time period, because the ceiling can raise at a later date.
I think Duel Links definitely raised this. It didn't just raise it; it like blew open the ceiling, quite literally, because it's just we're gaining more people in this game than we're losing. I mean, the past numbers from like last nationals and these regionals that have been going on, like the numbers are ridiculous. Like you're saying, like I can't wait for this year's nationals because it's going to be probably even bigger than last year's. Like I wouldn't be surprised.
I think we were near the record for hitting the most last chance qualifiers to ever fire. I don't remember what the exact number was, but I think like the record's like a 130. That's 130 people getting their invite starting at 9 a.m. until 4 p.m.
Yep.
Like that's fucking absurd, man. Like.
That's the grind.
It really is. It's like, all right, you wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. You're like, all right, I got to smash some LCQs because I suck at Yu-Gi-Oh! All right, well, I guess we're going to end this video here because we did come our full circle like we intended to. Any last thoughts, Simo?
No, I think Yu-Gi-Oh's in a good place right now. I think it's only getting better, and I think there's plenty of fruit for everyone to pick from the tree.
I can't wait to see that cock and balls again.
That's what you have to look forward to in a few hours.
Damn right I do. All right, guys.